you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to Tobago Updates Morning Show. I am your host, Renessa Ortiz, and we're welcoming you to yet another episode here right on the Tobago Updates. I want to say thank you for joining us on YouTube, Facebook, Flow, AMPLIA, and Digicel, and for making Tobago Updates your number one station. I am joined in studio by my co-host, Alex Brown. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Renessa. Good morning, viewers. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm alive and thankful.
And as always, a great place to be, alive and thankful. Before we get any further into the programming this morning, we head on over to news in 90 seconds. The Tobago House of Assembly officially commences its fiscal 2027 budget debate at 10 a.m. today. Following Monday's presentation of the medium-term pathway to prosperity policy framework, Assembly members will be convening to dissect the proposed strategic spending and investments. The live debate is expected to see discussions surrounding infrastructure development, youth programming, and the funding allocations across the Sister Isle. Tobago Division officers hunting three masked suspects behind Tuesday's botched Plymouth ATM robbery seem to be having just a little bit of technical difficulty. Okay, so moving on. Shopping smart at the fish market just got easier. The Tobago Consumer Affairs Unit has published its June 2026 Coastal Village supply rates to protect your pocket and support local fishers. According to the CAU, fresh shark is retailing for as low as $15 per pound in Castara, while staples like red snapper and kingfish hold steady at $25 per pound in Charlottesville and $30 in Scarborough. Officials are advising buyers to look for clear, bulging eyes, bright red gills, and firm flesh to guarantee absolute freshness. And finally, Tobago Division officers hunting for three masked suspects behind Tuesday's botched Plymouth ATM robbery have detained a BlackRock man for questioning. The suspects stole a backhoe and a truck from the Corland Sports facility, using the heavy equipment to smash into the Supreme Plaza storefront on Shelbourne Street. The heist failed when the backhoe's arm malfunctioned, forcing the men to flee empty-handed. And that was the news in 90 seconds. Tune in again at 6:30 p.m. for our full newscast. Moving on to our birthday celebrations this morning, we're celebrating with those who are celebrating with us.
First on this morning's list is Rob Dick. Happy birthday to you, Rob. We trust that today is going to be a day you enjoy in spite of the weather conditions. It started out a bit rainy this morning, overcast on the way here. We pray that the cool is going to be the cool with which the new year begins, and the showers will be the showers of blessings that you are going to enjoy in your new year. Happy birthday to you.
Up next, we have Nicole Wilson Phillips. Happy birthday to you from us here at Tobago Updates family. We hope you have a great day today. You self-reflect today, and that going forward in this new year, you achieve all those goals you set forward to accomplish. Happy birthday to you from us here.
And finally, we say happy birthday to John Thompson. We trust that today is going to be a day full of all the good things that this smile suggests your life has, and that it's going to begin a year full of promise and purpose for you. Happy birthday to you from all of us here at the Tobago Updates family.
We also want to say thank you to those of you who sent in your greetings. I want to say thanks for sending this information to us so that we can celebrate to you. And for those of you who did not make it on our birthday lineup this morning, we want to say happy birthday to you, wishing you a very beautiful day ahead. Alex, we saw in the news some very interesting stories and something that has been in this space
Very interesting.
for the past few days or so, as it pertains to the robbery in Plymouth, as it pertains to removing an ATM outside of its stationed area. And it just ends in signal that we're seeing a lot of those TV heists being displayed here on the island of Tobago.
Well, if we take our minds back, this would not be the first time that this happened in Tobago. It certainly has not been the first time that an ATM was actually plucked out of its place, one that's been owned by the First Citizens Bank. I don't know if there's any correlation, but I remember years ago when the First Citizens Bank was in the NIB Mall, that somebody at least found a way to remove one ATM from the bank's lodging place. I am not sure why First Citizens Bank seems to be the target. At least they have had more than one in recent times, more than one of these incidents. I just like to say, especially to our young people, go to school and learn well. If you look at this video, there are some things I won't say. I'm not going to encourage, by sharing certain things, but go to school, learn well, and make sensible decisions.
But Alex, even with that statement, let me play devil's advocate just for a little bit. We often tell young people to go to school and learn well and apply themselves, but we're constantly hearing within this space and in the domain that there is underemployment or no opportunities for jobs. What then?
No.
I'm not saying that is an avenue.
No, I'm looking at the fact that
or a reason
this backhoe was stolen. That means there's some capacity to operate heavy equipment. School is not necessarily academia, but if you're going to do something, do it well and learn. I mean, I'm willing to argue that heavy equipment operators will make more money than you and I sitting here. So if school is not in the traditional sense, if you're going
apply
to
a certain level of thinking,
yes,
the same amount of thinking that you put into orchestrating,
I mean, you could
you may as well
so much work if you had rested overnight and then use the backhoe properly during the day. It's so much more productive.
And what's interesting? That's a sentiment that I always share. If you have this amount of time to orchestrate an event to this nature, why not apply that into something positive? Because
that means you do have some capacity to think, at least to some extent, to think some things through. We just need to be making better decisions.
Indeed. And viewers, we're heading on over to Marcus Daniel this morning. We're continuing our updates as it pertains to the World Cup. Good morning, Marcus.
Yes, good morning to you and of course Mr. Brown, and good morning to the viewers of Tobago Updates. Yeah, go to school and learn well, and I trust that the persons in need of that message, they view Tobago Updates. Yes, indeed. Talking about World Cup football, we are already into match day 15, and yesterday we had 6 matches yesterday that would have taken the tally to 54 out of 104. So we are getting there. 104 matches in total, 54 completed. Yesterday we had 20 goals, and I know I'm always interested in the goals. 20 goals in the 6 matches yesterday, and we had some surprises yesterday. In fact, I shouldn't say surprises. Yes, one major surprise in that South Africa, Bafana, they have qualified for the knockout stages for the first time in their country's history. And that came courtesy a very hard-fought 1-0 victory over South Korea. Now, if you ask the pundits their prediction coming into the World Cup in terms of this particular group, they never had South Africa as a team qualifying directly to the knockout stages. Now, South Korea can still qualify out of the group in 3rd place. We got 8 third-place teams, 8 of the top third-place teams. They are going to join the top 2 from all the groups into the next round. And so Korea, they are still there to qualify for the round of 32. But it's congratulations to South Africa. They fought very hard last evening and they won by 1-0. Also, Mexico, our CONCACAF nation, one of the host nations, one of the three host nations, they have qualified directly to the knockout stage with their third consecutive win. And get this, they are yet to concede a goal. They are yet to consider goal. So in their first time in their history, they are going to qualify for the knockout stages, having been perfect and yet to consider goal. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Brown.
I find that particular piece of statistic very, very interesting. That given how many goals have been scored in the competition so far, they have not conceded one. That's kind of an anomaly when you have high scoring competitions like this. I'm hoping that they can keep this up probably halfway through the round of 32, but it's really an interesting kind of statistic, because it's not usual. If it were a low scoring competition thus far, you could have seen probably not only Mexico but other teams as well going through without conceding. But to not concede, I mean, yesterday for example, you had 20 goals,
for the
days game. I think that would be a very, very interesting development in the competition.
Yeah, I mean, when you're home, you're bad, when you're home, you're real bad, and Mexico, going to Mexico to play, that stadium, the Azteca, I think they call it, it's very difficult to go up there and compete against Mexico. They're very competitive there, and they have a very high win ratio at that facility. And given the fact that they have qualified for the next round, they remain at home. And the pundits, they've already started changing their language in terms of how far can Mexico go in this competition. And for us in CONCACAF, we want to see them go as far as possible. Exactly. And another CONCACAF team, Canada, they've also made it into the round of 32, having finished second in their group behind Switzerland. So 3 groups competed yesterday. Mexico, of course, in Group A, top with 9, South Africa 4, South Korea 3, and Czech Republic, they have to make their way back at home, finishing with 1 point. And in Group B, Switzerland finishing with 7, Canada 4, Bosnia 4, and Qatar 1. They of course going to make their way back home as well after the group stages. And Group C competed. Brazil victorious last evening again. We saw Neymar coming on for the first time in the World Cup final 15 minutes. Good to see him back on the field of play, of course recovering from injury. Morocco, they finished on 7 as well with Brazil, but Brazil's superior goal difference qualified there ahead of Morocco. Scotland finished with 3 points. They still have an opportunity to qualify as one of the 8 best third place teams. So they have to look at the other results coming today and the following days to get into the next one. So for the teams in third place thus far, we have South Korea, we have Bosnia, Scotland, Paraguay, Sweden, Algeria, and Croatia. Those are the teams thus far looking like they can qualify in third place. Looking ahead, Alex, before I go, the matches on today yet. That's another set of double headers. Starting at 4 p.m., we have Curacao versus Ivory Coast. Curacao already, unfortunately, they, of course, not going to make it into the round of 32. Ecuador versus Germany. Ecuador, they need a victory against the Germans if they're going to challenge for a spot in the round of 32. Tunisia versus Netherlands. Also, Tunisia, they need a victory there against Netherlands. In fact, they are on 0 points, so they are basically out of the competition. Netherlands will want to continue their winning ways. That game is at 7 p.m. And then we also have Japan taking on Sweden at 7 p.m. And USA, another CONCACAF team, aiming to finish unbeaten as well. They're going to be taking on Turkey at 10 p.m. And the last game on Australia, taking on Paraguay at 10 p.m. Yes, those are the matches on today. I think those are the matches on today. Match day 15, Alex. Lots to look forward to with the World Cup. I know a number of persons are enjoying the matches. Yeah, enjoying the goals. I'm certainly enjoying the games, and of course, the team that I'm supporting, Portugal, they got their first win 2 days ago.
I'm sure you're sitting a little bit uneasy with Portugal only getting 1 win so far.
So 1 win so far, but 4 points, and they're looking good for the round of 32.
All right, thank you for sharing with us, Marcus, and we look forward to your daily updates as the competition continues.
Fantastic. Have a wonderful morning.
And to you the same, thank you.
Viewers, we're heading swiftly along into the programming this morning. Alex, can you tell the viewers what's in store for them on the lineup this morning?
Certainly, on this morning's lineup, we're talking youth and youth health, particularly youth sexual health, as there is a reported rise of sexually transmitted infections and HIV recorded among our youth on the island. So we'll be talking about that, and as well we'll be talking about the International Advocacy Against Child Abuse's upcoming 5K glow run. So we're talking health, and we're talking health among our young people. On the one hand, we're talking sexual health. Of course, a 5K glow run is always a physical health issue, so we look forward to having those conversations.
And there you have it, viewers. Remember to stay right here so you can be a part of these conversations, and remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
All we is one family, Tobago family and friends. Healing concert for Oscar B.
All we is one family. All we is one family.
A benefit concert honoring a cultural icon, Oscar B. on Sunday, the 28th of June, 2026 at the Shore Park Cultural Complex, featuring conscious renditions, gospel performances, and Tobago's finest artists. A benefit concert honoring the cultural icon, Tobago's own, Tobago's pride, Tobago's legend. Doors open from 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m.
Give from the heart or make your donations at the door.
Or call 917-807-2119, 741-6143, or 759-6634. Presented by friends and family of Oscar B Committee in collaboration with Tobago-based partners. All proceeds will go towards Oscar B's medical expenses and recovery. You don't want to miss it. All we is one family. The healing concert for Oscar B.
Go wine so, push back so, we go jam so, hey, then we come together. Hear me?
From the reef to the road. From the reef to the road. From the reef to the road. Tobago calling. Sweet vibes, sweet wine, everybody falling. We bring the culture straight to you. Tobago updates, we keeping it true.
Oh gosh, Tobago updates on the screen. Here we go. You're home for October Carnival show. From the big stage shine to the Barricade line, we bring Tobago to the world in real time.
Tobago updates. Tobago updates. Carnival 2026. We said the pace. Wave your flag. Anywhere you're there. Anywhere. Island love trimming all around you. Yeah. Big king love gone for the rhythm start.
Tobago updates, Caribbean art.
My name is Carl Page. I'm the head coach of St. Jago High School boys track and field team.
My name is Joseph Small. I am the head coach of the girls female program. Preparing an athlete is not just running on the track. You have the mental aspect, you have the nutrition aspect, and you have the support and the motivation. So there's a lot of factors that we have to look into, and we have to try to see how best we can deal with them as best as possible.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
And I have never, ever tried anything from the dirt oven. Let's go to the backyard dirt oven on a Thursday. Here now, talk about authentic. On entry, I felt at home. I felt like I was going to visit my loving grandmother on a weekend. The kind of weekend where she showers you with love, stories, and food. This place is a home away from home. And just like I would do at home, I popped the question, what you had to eat day? And boom, coconut drops. Boom, bread. Boom, garlic bread. Boom, hops. Boom, coconut tart. Boom, jam tart. And boom, something they call nuts. And just like that, Mistress Baker was ready to pop them in the oven. And don't worry, she had some help. And while we was waiting, I said, let me hear from Mistress Baker herself.
Well, we've been operating for a couple of years now. We started, this was a COVID project. We operate strictly on Tuesdays only. You don't keep stock, we only sell on Tuesdays.
Such a sweet lady. Hey, Olia, it's ready. When last you see a nice golden brown bread, sir? Backyard bakery for the win. Olia, a GT. I finally get me the oven bread with a little extra goodies on the side. You might be asking, where they're located? They are located on Bukuru, right on Nightingale Avenue, right before Racetrack Wheels if you're coming from town. Just look for the green hedge. You can't miss it. Pause. Check out the menu they one time. Honestly, guys, this is an experience I will never forget. It's a home away from home, a place filled with love, life, and most importantly, good bread.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back. And as promised before the break, our next guest is Miss Onika Henry, a clinical sexologist and the Senior Program Coordinator for Sexual Health and Youth Development. She joins us this morning to discuss the rise in HIV and other sexually transmitted infections and what individuals and communities can do to protect themselves. Good morning and welcome to you, Miss Henry. Thank you for being here with us. Good morning, Miss Henry.
Hello.
Hi, morning. Are you hearing us?
Hi, good morning. I'm now hearing you. God, so sorry about that.
And that's okay. Now we're going to get straight into the interview this morning. Now, the data suggests that despite years of awareness campaigns, we're still seeing increases in HIV and other sexually transmitted infections, particularly among young adults. From your perspective, where are we falling short?
Oh my. So I would go straight to education. If people don't have knowledge and skill to protect themselves, they will not be able to do so. So the conditions for the spread of STIs still exist. And those conditions, in addition to not having sufficient education or sufficient skills to manage your sexuality and sexual health, there's also the fear and stigma that still exists around sexuality, around talking about sex and about doing so openly. And people, because there's this fear and stigma, they're not going to get tested. They don't want to go in a space where they are still, where somebody knows them, where the fact that they visited a clinic to be tested, that news reach home before they reach home. So there's also the fear and concern around confidentiality and around treating sexuality as just a normal part of wholeness and wellness.
Given, Ms. Henry, given this particular perspective, how do you account for the data that suggests that there's an increase in the number of infections? Is it that despite these negatives, as it were, that people are still getting tested? Is the data really, as it says, is it anecdotal? How do we account if people have this phobia and trying to avoid stigmas? How do we account for the data suggesting that there's an increase in the number of these infections among our young people?
So whoever is coming in to test, probably coming in to test when it's already late, meaning symptoms are showing. So you don't have a choice but to come in to make sure that everything is okay. And so what the data suggests is that, and we can't even give a clear picture because analysis of the data is still being done. And so what that says to me is that we are missing a big piece of what is actually happening. If there's an increase in infections, yet we don't have enough testing, it means if we do have enough testing, we may find that one of two things are happening. One, there is definitely a lack of proper application of safer sex practices, broadly speaking, on the island. Or two, we have a certain demographic, a certain group who are coming forward for testing. And because we don't have enough research done as yet, that analysis done, we can't tell you, well, why is that happening? And why is it only happening within a particular demographic? Analysis of those results and that information takes a while.
Now you
Did
mentioned,
I answer your question?
That's a fair enough answer.
Okay.
now you
Go
mentioned
ahead.
that education remains one of the biggest barriers. Yet we've had awareness campaigns in schools, health centers, and the media. Why do you think that gap still exists? Is it that we're not reaching the right communities? Is it that the way that we are delivering these campaigns not effective in terms of reaching our intended audiences?
So I think our campaigns have mainly been short-term projects and not designed to have long-term behavior change. What I have noticed is that when Carnival comes around, or when there might be a particular spike or concern about activity in a certain space, there's this rush to call in the authorities. Come, we need to do something because something has happened. As opposed to consistent long-term programs that are just as regular and impactful as you have with, well, let's take, for example, young folks in school. When I talk about comprehensive education and comprehensive sexuality education, I'm not talking about, well, let me give them a little 5 days, a little 5-day, workshop, and hope that will change behavior that's been happening for several years or for several decades. That's not how human beings work. And so I don't, and on top of that, I have not yet found, it may exist, but I don't know, I have not yet found that we have reports on how those programs or how those campaigns in the past have been monitored and evaluated to give us a sense of, okay, this was the impact, it went well or it didn't go so well, this is how we could improve it, and this is how we should continue doing this. Sex education is not a one-off conversation you have with a child or with a young person. It is a series of conversations that happen over the lifespan, and we are sexual from womb to tomb. And so as the body changes, as your condition changes, as your state of even your mental wellness changes, so too will your sexual function. And so I think what we have been doing, in my opinion, has not been good enough. And now the Division of Health is making a concerted effort to have a long-term program to manage this, just as we have regular testing and regular promotion of staying hydrated during Carnival. I mean, you see these signs all over the place, or Carnival bands may even provide water for their participants, and the Know Your Numbers campaign. But even with those programs, we are still looking for ways to improve, because the numbers in other health areas in Tobago are also very troubling.
It's interesting that you mentioned other campaigns and how they presented, because one of the things that has happened over the years is that HIV in particular is now being presented as almost a manageable lifestyle disease with the advancement of the treatments that are available. Do you think that this may have been one of the unintended consequences? So no, well, I could manage that. I take one tablet a day and I'll be all right. So do you think this has now turned out to be one of the unintended consequences of the advancement of treatment in HIV?
No, I think that is an outcome of not doing proper education about what treatment of HIV entails. People do have the idea that, okay, I'll just take a pill and be fine. It is not that simple. It is not that straightforward. It never has been. And so once again, from what I have observed, the information we give and how we teach around issues like HIV treatment does not give folks the full picture of what that means. It is not ever for everybody going to be, all right, I just pop a pill every day and I'm good. And I don't have to worry about anything. And I could continue to practice, unsafe or not safe enough, sexual behavior. So treating it as a chronic disease is fine. I think what is missing is how complex and difficult that can be, or that is for many people. And so there's an assumption of lots of ease, lots of ease around the treatment for HIV. Did that answer your question?
I think fair enough.
Now, we're also hearing warnings about new drug-resistant strains of STIs globally. Are we seeing evidence of these hard-to-treat strains impacting our local youth population?
So that one I do not have the data for. I mean, I have anecdotal stories, but I think that may be a question for TRHA officials to answer, since they are the clinical folks. So I can't give a definite yes or no. But we are part of the global scene. We have people traveling to our shores all the time. This is a tourism destination. I don't see why we would not have cases of that happening or instances of that happening locally on both islands.
You mentioned tourism, and it's interesting that you mentioned tourism in this particular discussion and how that may impact on what we would see in terms of our strains of infections that may be drug resistant. Do you suspect, and there may not be the data to support it immediately available, but do you suspect that there is some level of sex tourism taking place on the island that may contribute to us seeing drug or treatment resistant strains of infections among our own population?
Do I suspect? Well, I'll put it this way. Ever since I was a child, I've heard stories about that. Once again, I don't have data, but as somebody who lives here, as somebody who's grown up here, and as someone who's traveled to other Caribbean islands, those are not unusual stories. They are not things that I'm going to pretend does not exist or has not exist. And I think we've always had conversations about the impact of not also having a message or a type of marketing that includes wholeness and wellness when you come to our island, especially during carnival time. And I think that's one of the things that we need to address. And so I know the Division of Health is looking forward to partnering with other organizations in terms of, well, how do we manage the space, the attitude in the space, the culture of carnival itself? How do we embed and integrate wholeness and wellness messages into the carnival culture as it is now? And that would really be about reclaiming what carnival was intended to be in its original form, coming out of plantation life. A carnival really was about dealing with trauma. It really was about trying to have an experience of wholeness and wellness in a very traumatic space. So it was about healing. It was about wholeness and wellness and finding ways to cope with trauma. I don't think that we have continued to keep that aspect of carnival as part of how we celebrate that festival.
I really,
Hope I answered.
I'm happy you went in that direction, because as we're heading into a second carnival in Tobago, I was wondering whether what we're seeing and our concerns about sexual practices during Carnival, whether that in itself may be an indication of people coming out of different kinds of trauma, and that practice or those practices are now what they see as their efforts towards wholeness from the other kinds of trauma that they may have been experiencing.
So I mean, I can't address that in terms of the kinds of research and data that has been done or has not been done when it comes to folks who participate in Carnival and what Carnival means to them. But our job at the Division of Health is to find ways to remind folks or teach them or provide a support for them to make healthier choices at all levels of well-being. And whether that means staying hydrated, remembering to take your medication, practicing safer sex, or checking in with your mental health around that time. And so our staff at this new department, we're actually trained to use behavior change models. And so when we engage in activities, whether it's at booths or events during the Carnival season, those activities are not random. They're not ad hoc. They are designed to support people in making healthier choices. And what we've done is that we have integrated healthy eating with exercise and with mental health and sexual health messages. And so the approach helps to normalize conversation about sex as part of a person's overall health and well-being, rather than treating it as something separate or shameful or something to be shy about.
It's interesting that in the whole gamut of the discussion, you made reference to behavior change. I have looked at this approach for quite a while, not only in terms of sexual practice, but generally in our discipline as a society. And I'm wondering whether we should start shifting focus from behavior change to an issue of mindset and how we pursue value. Because sometimes we try to emphasize on behavior change and do not consider what drives the behavior, the mindsets behind the behavior. So I'm wondering whether we shouldn't start considering addressing the issues of behavior influence and the mindsets that may need to be addressed to see the outcomes that we want.
Well, I think you're making the assumption that behavior change does not include that. So there are different models of behavior change. And what you need to do is figure out which ones need to be applied for which situation. That is one. Two, behavior change takes place over time. We're human beings. So it's not like a computer program where you type in all the things that need to happen. This is the new mindset you need to have. These are the values you need to have. Let me plug that into you, and clicks, you're instantly changed. Just like any other human condition where somebody is trying to develop, trying to make progress, it's going to be 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And so I don't think the issue is behavior change models, but how they're applied, choosing the right ones. Because behavior change does include how do we address the mindset? What does stages of change look like? How do we help people figure out what values they have or what values they need to have to match what they want to achieve in life, including what they may want to achieve around wholeness and wellness. That is my take on it as someone who has worked with different and is aware of different behavior change models. So a quick example with sexuality, with my field, when we are talking about sexual dysfunction that includes compulsive sexual behavior, there's a particular behavior model we need to use for that, as opposed to other behavior models, because we know this one works best with this situation, this condition. Was that helpful?
I think it was.
Okay, good to know.
Now, we spoke about all the issues as it pertains to HIV, STI, and some of the education gaps that we still need to fill. But in the meantime, what are some preventative measures? And I think we have had this conversation over time in many other interviews, and especially as it pertains to awareness campaigns, some preventative measures persons can take, and also in terms of sex education being introduced to the population as young as the primary school level. And not only that, but also we're also looking at the rate at which dating apps are populating the space and how casual sexual relationships continue to be the norm now, and as that pertains to sexual education and the preventative measures.
Okay, so I'm not sure I got your question clearly. Are you asking me what to suggest to folks for prevention, or what the division is doing? Tell me what you're asking me.
So I'll just ask the question again. What are some preventative measures persons can take? And also, do you think that sex education should be introduced to the population from as young as the primary school level? And I just mentioned the casual dating and the casual sexual relationships as it pertains to the preventative measures.
Right. Okay. So preventing infections from a biological level is simply avoiding the exchange of body fluids. Yeah. And so to do that, there are prophylactics. So condoms, for example, that would prevent that exchange of possibly infected body fluids from one person's body to the next. So it can be as simple as protect yourself using different kinds of condoms and barrier methods to prevent that exchange of body fluids. That is as basic as I can get. One. Two, there are some STIs that are transmitted by skin to skin contact, meaning even if you use barrier methods, you can still get infection. So the next step is also educate yourself about what STIs are transmitted that way, how they're transmitted in terms of skin to skin contact, in comparison to exchange of body fluids, which means that testing and having your partners, you and your partner or partners getting tested so that you know your status. Because some of these infections are also asymptomatic. You may not see symptoms for quite a while, and therefore if you're not testing, you're going to assume you're fine, and by the time symptoms show up, you would have passed that on to people because you're not using protection. Protection is kind of like a health insurance. Yeah, you never know what's going to happen, or if you have something and you don't know, somebody has something and they don't know, because we're not testing regularly. And so that's number two. In terms of sex education, let me put it like this: every single subject we teach in school, from math to English, to Spanish to science, they all have curricula that are designed according to developmental age and stage. In other words, we know what a 5-year-old, what a 7-year-old, what a 10-year-old needs to know or needs to learn when it comes to math, English, social studies, etc. Sexual education as a subject in school is no different. And in fact, because we come under so much fire, we are even more rigorous in the research that we do in putting together curricula. Because we know we're going to get the pushback. So we're a little extra careful. So just as any other subject that has age appropriate skills and knowledge, there is no difference with sexuality education. In fact, I'll give you one topic: teaching about consent. We don't teach consent from teenage years. Consent lesson plans start from age 3, because at that age and stage, there are ways to begin to teach about consent. Very simple ways to that age group. And then as they get older, the lesson plans about consent become more complex or more advanced. And so it's layered upon layer. There's scaffolding that helps you throughout your lifespan. And so I hope I've answered your question. One, about what people could do now, including testing, so you know that even if you don't have symptoms, you may still have an infection that you're passing around. Two, use your protection. There are definitely some STIs that will be prevented using that barrier method. There are videos on YouTube about how to put on and take off different types of condoms. Avail yourself of that information. So Google how to put on and take off condoms properly and effectively, how to store condoms. And for those who are going to be on the road or on the streets, for fetes, etc., find ways to carry or hide those condoms on your person or in your costume. So in case you decide at that moment, of high, of all that erotic energy, that you decide, I'm going to do something, I want to do something now, you have your backup with you. So it's being very practical and being honest with ourselves, being aware of who we are and how we respond in particular environments when it comes to carnival and sexuality, and putting plans and things in place to keep ourselves and our partners safer. I hope I answered all your questions.
Thank you so much, Miss Miles, for coming on this morning and sharing
Miss
with
Henry.
Sorry, Miss Henry. My apologies. My apologies.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Miss Mars and I were actually in school together, and we're both Onikas. We went to primary school together. So
Yes,
the mix up it happens often.
Okay, I want to thank you so much for coming on this morning and sharing with us in this ongoing awareness as it relates to HIV and STI infections, not just here in Tobago, but as it pertains to our global impact across the world. If you'll stay right here, we'll continue with conversations after the break. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Sofa Factory is here in Tobago. Conveniently located Montessori Drive, Glen Road, Scarborough. Up to 20% off on select sofas for customization. Deals on some sofas from as low as $4,000 until stocks last. 10% off on all wardrobes. Half off on shower heads with the purchase of a vanity set. Come in and experience the new way to shop for furniture and see the quality in person.
Coming up, hot plates, cold drinks, and chill vibes were the order of the month in Antigua and Barbuda. Top chefs, tasty menus, influencers, and foodies. The boxes were ticked, kitchens buzzing, and grills fired up. It's the one and only Antigua and Barbuda Culinary Month with Caribbean Passport TV on this station.
Stay tuned for what's coming next.
Long to play the card. I'm all inside, so good, but yo, what school you went by?
Bayern Bishops, by
Bishops?
Yeah,
sure,
we know the baddest that's come out of Bishops, sir.
The baddest?
But telling her,
we know the baddest. My one night and life, and I is the baddest.
My Bishop is the best.
Yo, what's going on with Tola? What's going on? It's only one way to settle this.
We'll be live on Youth Voice TV, where I, your host, Multibass, will be hosting the Rep Your School DJ competition, where DJs will go head-to-head in a crazy battle to secure the title. We have cash prizes of $10,000 to come out and win, and a lot of amazing prizes. Guys, what are you waiting for? Let me come out, come and showcase your skills. Come, let me do some juggling.
So guys, there are two categories for DJs that are out of school up to 35 years. And for the DJs that are currently in school, it must be up to 19 years of age. So guys, get ready. It's all about Rep Your School. It's all about the DJ competition.
Who will bring the best vibes? Who can control the crowd? And who will earn the bragging rights? You get a chance to be a part and witness the rise of the new DJ generation. So this is Youth Voice, Rep Your School DJ, live on Tobago Updates. Stay tuned.
Youth Voice, Rep Your School DJ competition. Rep Your School.
All are we is one family, Tobago family and friends. A healing concert honoring cultural icon Oscar B will be held on Sunday, 28th June, Shaw Park Cultural Complex. Doors open from 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m., featuring gospel performances, conscious renditions, and Tobago's finest artists, honoring a cultural icon. Tobago's own, Tobago's pride, Tobago's legend. Sunday 28th, Shaw Park Complex. Complex. Doors open from 4 p.m. Showtime 5 p.m. Give from the heart, or make your donations at the door. You can call 917-807-2119 or 741-6143 or 759-6634. Presented by friends and family of Oscar-B Committee in collaboration with Tobago-based partners. All proceeds will go towards Oscar-B medical expenses and recovery. Don't miss it. Always one family. The healing concept for Oscar-B, Sunday 28th June, Shaw Park Cultural Complex. Doors open from 4 p.m. Showtime 5 p.m.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are and the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people, and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you for staying with us. As promised before the break, we're talking about our young people and their health. We're talking this morning with the founder of the International Advocacy Against Child Abuse, the IAACA, in the person of Anne Natasha II. I'm sure this is no stranger to you viewers. This person cannot be a stranger to our viewers here at Tobago Updates, but certainly this capacity may be new for some of us. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning. Thank you for the welcome. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. It's good to be here as usual.
I am glad you find it good to be here. Let's talk a little bit about the IAACA and what caused you to found the IAACA.
Well, quite a bit of time has elapsed since the initial conception. In 2008, as a teacher, among other colleagues and so on, we would have felt that how child abuse was treated with, not just in Tobago, but across the Caribbean and in Latin America. We needed some direct responses to it and to make another generation capable of managing and coping with the trauma that comes out of child abuse. So we needed to have a formal organization, and so it started back then. And we have all different types of child abuse. In the news, we do see extreme violence against children, where children are harmed, they can be killed. So you have physical forms of abuse, you have child neglect, like leaving kids at home for a while.
But that's something we do regularly.
We do that regularly. And the older child, leaving the older child to sort of see about the others. While
so that too is abuse.
It can be abusive because the child, no matter if it's 10, if it's 9, 7, the child has developmental stages to go through. And if the responsibility of adulthood comes too early, that child doesn't get to experience all of the joys and so on of being a child. And so IACA was born in 2008 out of those needs.
Now, we're shifting a bit to policy, and that is always one of the greatest ways to shape and to help to alleviate some of the issues that we face within a society. Do you believe Trinidad and Tobago currently has adequate child protection laws and policies, or do you believe that there are some gaps that we still need to address within this space?
We have quite a few laws, quite a few amendments, and they're very strong. The Sexual Offences Act, the Children's Act that redefine the child up to 18 and so on. So we have a lot of good, strong laws. Practical implications fall short sometimes. For instance, if we have women, for instance, requiring protection from violent men, or the other way around, men requiring protection from violent women, or persons who, they're in a gender-based relationship, so it's not necessarily a male or female relationship, male and female, I mean, and you have somebody who is abused, and they seek protection from the police, from what have you. sometimes because of our attitude, I heard Alex talking earlier about mindset, because of our attitude about family business and family matters, there isn't adequate intervention, and it isn't as prolonged as it should be. It isn't taken seriously until something very bad happens. Something very bad happens the moment there's a physical assault, the moment there's a sexual assault, the moment there's neglect. Something bad has happened. A traumatic experience has taken place in the mind that can move from generation to generation. So that's the mindset change that we would need to look at in order to make policy effective. So we do have good policy, we do have good written stuff, but the rollout in society needs to improve.
I'm interested in the fact that you mentioned how we treat with issues in families. I remember attending a wedding once, and I think the minister's intent was good, but he was saying to the married couple, don't let your neighbor know how you're curry cooking. And often we carry that across all spectra of issues in a family. So things starting to go south, but we're not letting the neighbor know how the curry cooking. So while there may be an opportunity for some sort of intervention available, we don't exploit because we have a culture of secrecy. How, in your experience as that, and especially in your experience as a teacher, how did you see that play out in terms of its impact on children?
In terms of the children, you see it in different ways. Some children become violent, aggressive, they have behavioral challenges. Some children become introverted. They focus very, very heavily on something, whether it's the academics or so, or they can actually self-harm in ways that you cannot see as an adult. So they would cut themselves under their school shirt or their school skirt or pants repeatedly and tidy themselves up before they face the adults and so on. And some just internalize it, and then as they go older, they explode. So all forms of trauma against children are negative, all, right? And we need to face them, and we need to assist the adults who may be participating in the violent acts against children, or even mild acts against children that are negative. We need to assist them to understand that that's what is happening and that it should change and that they can change it. So one of our stronger points over the years has been that one-on-one counseling and allowing different stakeholders to come in to treat with people individually and help them with that mindset change. Because unless you have that mindset change, you do not understand that abusing your child looks like this. Overbeating the child, starving the child, not allowing the child to go to school. Because in Tobago here, we still have families where children are not going to school. Yeah?
Is that by choice or
there's
sometimes
nothing physically wrong with the child. The child isn't differently abled. Into an extreme where the child cannot function in school, the child just is not going to school. Mommy or daddy hasn't let the child go to school, and the system has not.
Could this be because of the financial circumstances in that family?
No, financial circumstances are an interesting concept. Like you talked about policy, we actually have a lot of safety net systems in Trinidad and Tobago. Free transportation, picking you up almost by your doorstep. You get uniform allowance and food nutrition in school. You get books, you get book supplies, you get all of these things. You do get that kind of support from the divisions of education and other divisions, and churches, etc. will help as well. And where there's a shortfall there, organizations like mine come in and assist with school supply drives and so on.
So let's talk a little bit before we get to the drives, because I remember, and I want to talk about parents and the expectations that they place on children and how that can result in abuse. I remember there was a schoolmate of mine whose parent, and I think well-meaning, it was a situation where, hope I'm not saying too much, but enough of them died to not have it. Mother died young, while child was young. And father is insistent that, the children must turn out well because they had no mother and nobody abused them.
Right.
And what was happening was he placed this onerous expectation on this child. So it was not just about the child coming first in test, but he was able to calculate percentages And it wasn't enough to come first in tests. You had to have a certain percentage. And the child really didn't function well socially. Unfortunately, by the time we left high school, I had to make a couple of visits to the psyche ward to visit the child. And I don't think this was the intent of the father, but that he wanted so much for the child, because you know sometimes how cruel our society can be. One parent is dead, and so there's not this support. Could you just talk at least to our viewers about how we place expectation on children?
That is extremely important. Now you've talked about the academic expectations and so on, and you can't push too hard. That is why you should not be doing it in silos or alone. You should be seeking support as a family unit, especially if you've lost your significant other and so on. You should seek that kind of support system to help you to understand when you are going too far. A whole lot of children depend on teacher, counselor, cousin, other persons, but that is if they are being allowed to mingle with such people and they have a safe space to talk about it, so they could share. I'm under stress, I'm under pressure, too many things are happening to me. On the other hand, you also have women who tell too much to their children. They're going through hardships and so on, and especially like the elder child, all the business, you know, from morning to evening. You know what happened to me in work today? This one tanty so wicked, uncle so evil. And that child has to carry that, and you know you're left to see about the other little ones behind you. Expectation is too high for that child as well. So we do as a society have to support systems like that. And like you say, you could end up with mental issues, emotional issues, and traumas that could again pass on to other generations. You could be violent at school, at work. You could just be violent. Yeah.
Now, my second, as we go a bit into the Glow Run, we spoke about advocacy as it relates to child abuse, but we're going to speak a bit now about the Glow Run that you have coming up. What's the purpose behind this event, and who is it intended to benefit?
Right. So our organization annually does a school supply drive and so on. We do hampers for select families, and we do books and supplies. What we also want to do is raise the funds for that, and we want to get support from the community to do that. So one of our events is going to be this Glow Run. Right now, it's very trendy. People like a Glow Run, and they like a run. They like a 3K, a 5K, and so on. So we want to do a run next week Saturday, not this Saturday, next week Saturday around the Kano Bay area. And from the screen, you could see it's an evening run around 6 o'clock. And there's a little barcode there that you can scan so that you could register. The cost is $150 because we want to generate enough funding to be able to do what we need to do. Both the counseling, the hampers, and the school supply drive, because we want to talk to parents. We have a whole lot of new parents on the island. We want to talk to them about that relationship with the children and what is abuse and what is not abuse and how they can get help and so on. So we want to have conversations with them. So we set up interviews and we have, you know, arrangements with stakeholders. So this Glow Run, we want to invite everybody. There's a lot of energy in the space nationally for all kind of thing. So we want you to expend some of that energy with us. Go register. Make that donation of $150. You get your medal. You can, if you're nice and early, you can get T-shirt or vest, and you get your little water and your glow sticks and so on. And we come, we have a nice time together. We burn out some energy and we make connections, because everybody who registers, we get to connect with them and have conversations with them, do that nice interview and stay close to the families, because families need support at the end of the day. Right? And organizations like mine must provide those kinds of support.
I think it's interesting that you spoke about the interaction at registration, because this is not just about the Glow Run. It's not just about contributing to children going back to school, but it's about starting a conversation that can continue in the future for the sake of the family and for the sake of the children. Yes. I think that's an important takeaway from this activity. Ms. Second, we thank you kindly for coming and sharing with us. Don't be a stranger. Sometimes we talk about these issues one-off, And probably because there's not regular conversation, a lot of what is possible slips past us, and then we cry over stories we hear in the news.
Yes.
Don't be a stranger. Continue to come in and talk with us about child abuse and how your organization supports not only children but supports families in the prevention of child abuse.
Wonderful. Thank you for the invitation. I will be back.
Good to know.
Now, viewers, we are at the end of the Tobago Updates morning show, but stay right here at Tobago Updates. Up next, we have GMT. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
We realize at TEMA that people need to understand financial planning and how to build their homes. After disaster, a lot of people come to us, and the reason why they come to us is because they didn't build properly for the hazards around them. We had topics such as financial planning, land use, building codes. We had the insurance agents talk about the type of insurance that you really need, and we really thank them for having an excellent presentation today and giving everybody what they need. A lot of questions were asked and they were answered excellently. People who weren't here missed out.
So pretty much what we set out to do, and I think we did so successfully, was to give persons the tools to equip them with readiness for the upcoming hurricane season. That's both financially and the hard facts in terms of what you need to know about your home, what can be done beforehand to secure it, and what can be done after a disaster hits. I think a lot of the messages hit home in terms of it was personal, real life scenario situation, especially Mr. Stewart gave a lot of real life situations in terms of where disasters happen when persons didn't expect it. It doesn't have to be a hurricane or a storm, it could be prolonged rainfall, and that could bring a disaster in certain areas. I think persons would have left with tips and possibly things that they need to do to be ready or to get in a more ready position. And as we said, preparation is your best line of defense, and we want persons to be prepared.
So people need to take disaster resilience and management personally. It is not about the government. Disaster resilience and management is a personal thing. You have to know how to protect you and your family. Your family is the most important thing to your life. I know it's the most important thing to me, and therefore you have to make plans. That's like the insurance agents. Just make plans for your future. Therefore, it's not me insurance. It could be insurance. It could be a plan. It could be having a communication plan, where to go, who to call, because people don't even know that. So just have basic conversations about disaster management to your kids and to your family.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
This morning we spoke about gut health and moving from chaos to calm. How do we achieve optimal gut health in 90 days or less? Now we saw this a very, very fitting workshop to have at this time, because we know that if we look at our local space, the Tobago space, we have an issue with non-communicable diseases that are rampant, they're on the rise, and many people don't realize that the genesis of these issues is digestive health. So when we fix digestive health, then we're able to affect every other organ system within the body. So fix digestion first, and you realize that your body It serves you and it gives you so many things for years to come.
I attended this workshop both as a spectator to learn the valuable information that Miss Melissa had to share, but also to see how our department could collaborate with this department to now get this information across to the wider Tobago population. There's a nerve that runs from the brain straight down to the lungs, the heart, the gut, and this nerve is called the vagus nerve. This nerve is so important because the information in the gut goes to the brain, where we produce serotonin 90 to 95% in the gut. So people think we have to, focus on antidepressants and these things, but no, sometimes we could fix our mental health by focusing on the foods that we eat. The information that the gut sends to the brain affects how we feel, affects how we interpret information, affects how we relate to people, and you could see that when you are hungry.
It's interesting. You're not going to come back again and find out more things about your body.
At this stage in life, we need to pay attention to our diet, what we eat, determine our health in the future.
Start with digestive health. If you're having any signs, symptoms, or diagnosis, we always look at the 3 roots: digestion, inflammation, and genetics. Once we can target those 3 roots, any sign, symptom, or diagnosis can change its expression, and we'll just be a healthier island as a result.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
I was pleased to see that they gave a holistic approach. Indeed, the term holistic wellness came up, and they were able to touch on the financial aspect. They were able to speak about spiritual wellness, something that sometimes people don't even consider, and even stress in the workplace, because many times people are under stress and they may not realize it.
It was a much needed opportunity. And what I would like to see going forward is that, more staff are privileged with the opportunity, with the information that was provided today. I don't think that it should be limited to a selective few then. This was too good. The information, is relevant.
Our department is a department that's on the ground. From myself to my entire team, we are on the ground. We are faced with ground issues. We are faced with real issues. All our clients that come in. Now, we have clients that come in that we can help, and then there are others that we advise. We take everything. Then we look at what's happening in the world. Trinidad and Tobago, we see the tension, we look at our own colleagues, our own friends, the things that they are going through. So our topics, it comes from the people. It comes from the International Labour Organization. It comes from our stakeholder partners, Ministry of Labour, NDD, CS. So it comes all around. And what we look at what is happening now, what is affecting our people now, and that's what we try to tap into. That's why we try to find people that could speak to those areas and give our people the help and the attention.
The hope would be that persons who attended would also share this information with their colleagues. I think it should be extended even to other departments as time goes along.
I want to thank the Department of Labour for providing this opportunity, because I will say it's an opportunity for me today. And I hope that I'll be able to relay the information to my work colleagues so that we could help foster a positive and healthy work environment.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Chanel Felix, and guys, you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. The Tobago House of Assembly commences its fiscal 2027 budget debate at 10 a.m. today, following Monday's presentation of the midterm Pathway to Prosperity policy framework. Assembly members will be convening to dissect the proposed strategic spending and investments. The live debate is expected to see discussions surrounding infrastructural development, youth programming, and funding allocations across the Sister Isle. Additionally, Tobago Division police officers are hunting for 2 masked suspects behind Tuesday's botched Plymouth ATM robbery, have detained a Blackrock man for questioning. The suspects stole a backhoe and a truck from the Corland Sport facility, using the heavy equipment to smash into Supreme Plaza storefront on Shelbourne Street. The heist failed when the backhoe's arm malfunctioned, forcing the men to flee empty-handed. And finally, shopping smart at the fish market just got easier. The Tobago Consumer Affairs Unit has published its June 2026 Coastal Village supply rates to protect your pocket and support local fishermen. According to the CAU, fresh shark is currently retailing for as low as $15 per pound in Castara, while staples like red snapper and kingfish hold steady at $25 per pound in Charlottesville and $30 in Scarborough. Officials are advising buyers to look for clear, bulging eyes, bright red gills, and firm flesh to guarantee absolute freshness. Ladies and gentlemen, that was our news in 90 seconds. We're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back with much more conversations after this. See you soon.
Sofa Factory is here in Tobago. Conveniently located Montessori Drive, Glen Road, Scarborough. Up to 20% off on select sofas for customization. Deals on some sofas from as low as $4,000 until stocks last. 10% off on all wardrobes. Half off on shower heads with the purchase of a vanity set. Come in and experience the new way to shop for furniture and see the quality in person.
All are we is one family, Tobago family and friends. A healing concept honoring cultural icon Oscar B will be held on Sunday, 28th June, Shaw Park Cultural Complex. Doors open from 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m., featuring gospel performances, conscious renditions, and Tobago's finest artists, honoring a cultural icon. Tobago's own, Tobago's pride, Tobago's legend. Sunday 28th, Shaw Park Complex. Doors open from 4 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Give from the heart, or make your donations at the door. You can call 917-807-2119 or 7416143 or 759-6634. Presented by friends and family of Oscar B Committee in collaboration with Tobago-based partners. All proceeds will go towards Oscar B medical expenses and recovery. Don't miss it. All are we is one family. The healing concept for Oscar B, Sunday 28th June, Shaw Park Cultural Complex. Doors open from 4 p.m. Showtime 5 p.m.
Nice.
If I have to call a supervisor one more time to sign off on a customer because their financials are in a mess, I will scream.
Don't scream in a bank. That have lock up in it.
It's either they're not registered properly, or you know what? We could just forget about annual returns, right?
Compliance is a bad word to most of them. All your compliance out of here. But let me eat.
What is wrong with Trinbagonians? I mean, it has so much help they could get out there.
Well, you know, Trinis, we don't like to spend we money.
But you know what? Be comfortable with losing we money. That make it any financial
What people should do is call Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago.
Wait, what? Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago Tax and Accounting Services. Yeah, they offer helping from registering your business to filing your tax. My lunch is over.
Wait, tell me more.
No, go and scream in the bank. You go and scream in the bank.
No, Antoine, don't get one sooner.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, we move straight ahead into our conversations, and this morning I have the privilege of chatting virtually with Mr. Jesse Taylor, who is the Cultural Officer 2 at the Division of Tourism, Antiquities and Creative Industries. This morning we are chatting all about Ready, Set, Go, charting Legacy 2026. Now, this event started on the 18th of June, and we're gonna hear a bit about it. Good morning, Jesse, and welcome.
I'm not hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
I'm not hearing.
I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me now? Good morning and welcome. Can you hear me?
Good morning. I'm not hearing you.
All right. Well, we will have our producers adjust that as soon as possible. We are talking about Ready, Set, Go for charting the Legacy 2026. And so we're talking about the areas of dance, movement, drumming, songs, and chanting, a celebration of Tobago's rich indigenous folklore, culture, and just creative performances. We're going to be chatting with Mr. Taylor about that this morning and all that they have been doing throughout Tobago to ensure that they spread knowledge of Tobago's culture. But while we are waiting, ladies and gentlemen, we take a quick break right here and we'll be back after this. See you soon.
Tobago updates, we keeping it true. Oh gosh, Tobago updates on the screen. Here we go. You're home for October Carnival show. From the big stage shine to the Barrio line, we bring Tobago to the world in real time. Tobago updates, Tobago updates. Carnival 2026. We said the pace. Wave your flag anywhere you're there. Anywhere. Island love trimming all around you. Yeah. Big king love turn for the rhythm start. Tobago updates, Caribbean art.
My name is Carpage. I'm the head coach of St. Jago High School boys track and field team.
My name is Joseph Small. I am the head coach of the girls female program. Preparing an athlete is not just running on the track. You have the mental aspect, you have the nutrition aspect, and you have the support and the motivation. So there's a lot of factors that we have to look into, and we have to try to see how best we can deal with them as best as possible.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Coming up, hot plates, cold drinks, and chill vibes were the order of the month in Antigua and Barbuda. Top chefs, tasty menus, influencers, and foodies. The boxes were ticked, kitchens buzzing, and grills fired up. It's the one and only Antigua and Barbuda Culinary Month with Caribbean Passport TV on this station.
Stay tuned for what's coming next.
And I have never, ever tried anything from the dirt oven.
Let's go to the backyard dirt oven on a Thursday. And talk about authentic. On entry, I felt at home. I felt like I was going to visit my loving grandmother on a weekend. The kind of weekend where she showers you with love, stories, and food. This place is a home away from home. And just like I would do at home, I pop the question, what you had to eat day? And boom, coconut drops. Boom, bread. Boom, garlic bread, boom, hops, boom, coconut tart, boom, jam tart, and boom, something they call nuts. And just like that, Mistress Baker was ready to pop them in the oven. And don't worry, she had some help. And while we was waiting, I said, let me hear from Mistress Baker herself.
Well, we've been operating for a couple of years now. We started, this was a COVID project. We operate strictly on Tuesdays only. You don't keep stock, we only sell on Tuesdays.
Such a sweet lady. Hey, Olia, it's ready. When last you see a nice golden brown bread, sir? Backyard bakery for the win. Olia, a GT. I finally get me the oven bread with a little extra goodies on the side. You might be asking, where they're located? They are located on Bukuru, right on Nightingale Avenue, right before Racetrack Wheels if you're coming from town. Just look for the green hedge. You can't miss it. Pause. Check out the menu day one time. Honestly, guys, this is an experience I will never forget. It's a home away from home, a place filled with love, life, and most importantly, good bread.
Okay. 335, 336, 337, 338, 339.
Counting on your fingers again. No wonder you lose your business.
Grandpa, thanks for helping me start over.
You not lucky in business, you know. As a child, you tried to sell hog plum. That failed. As a teenager, you and your boyfriend tried to break into the jewelry business. But hey, where that boy end up?
He live in Aruka in the Grove. The golden one.
Oh, child, if you want to get into business, you have to have your financial records intact. But hey, do you know your numbers?
Of course, 624. 333.
No, child, your numbers, your ratios, your equity ratios. You have a financial handicap.
What?
You need to see somebody about that. Anderson.
Who?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago, they offer tax and accounting services. They know about financial management.
Grandpa, I started this business with nothing.
And nothing is what you will end up with unless you call Anderson Services. Here.
Okay, this card is nice.
Yeah.
What's this?
Your rental fee. Have business will pay rent. Hot and groovy in the soca party.
The Caribbean is more than just a place. It's a spirit, resilient, vibrant, and full of possibility. Rooted in connection, driven by community. It's who we are at the heart of everything we do. For over 150 years, we've been right here, invested in the Caribbean, its people and its progress. And today, we're going even further. Liberty Business, rooted in the Caribbean, committed to you.
Donc la famille taking long to play the card. I'm going to I'm all in so good, but
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies.
welcome back to Good Morning Tobago, right here on Tobago Updates, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for sticking with us. This morning we're chatting with the Cultural Officer 2 at the Division of Tourism, Mr. Jesse Taylor, and we're talking about Ready, Set, Go 4, charting a legacy, the 2026 version. Good morning, Mr. Taylor, and welcome.
Good morning to you, Chanel, and to your team at Tobago Updates and all of Tobago and who's ever listening from wherever they may be. Pleasant good morning.
All right. We know that the Division of Tourism, Antiquities and Creative Industries has recently held this sort of workshop initiative whereby you were opening up to the public to have persons come in and learn about drumming, dancing, folklore, and a number of different areas surrounding Tobago's rich indigenous culture. Tell us a bit about the event.
So this is its fourth year in its incarnation. So we've had 4 editions completed, both one in the East and one in the Western District over the last 4 years. I think it's remarkable that we were able to train close to 800 persons given and retrain and retool and inspire our younger generation and encourage some of the more senior folks to still practice, if not, then at least to exercise and look at their health and wellness. So the program really is designed to, harness and preserve cultural talents to, help regenerate the art form in terms of its Tobago's cultural legacy and what we have inherited. And I think it did just that. We were particularly pleased to see it have such a wider participation as we were able to reach a wider range of persons on the island who really showed up and supported the initiative. And we were also very delighted to add the element of the steel pan and the things that are done at the bongo at the wake night, which is part of our tradition, which seems to be dying. So it was really a good show.
Understood. So leading up to the Tobago Heritage Festival, tell us a bit about what the workshop was about and who it targeted. Is it that it targeted persons who are already into cultural practicing, or was it open for the wider Tobago audience? Was it open to dance clubs and explain to us?
Exactly. It was all a combination of all that you've just mentioned. So we were privileged to have and privileged rather to have quite a number of groups on the island, a lot of the youth clubs, youth groups, performing companies and villages. It catered for persons who we had people who even came in. We had a few students who were on break out of their respective countries who were here, who were able to participate out of Jamaica and Guyana, and one returning national from out in North America who were able to bring her family and to share it while she's here for the summer. So it really catered for persons as well. And it was specifically targeted to people who are performing in the Tobago Heritage Festival. As you know, it's a division-oriented program and is really designed to encourage the authentic art forms on the island. And this was by no means short of that. So we are fortunate to have some of the best master minds in terms of tutors on the island to teach music, to teach folk song, choreography, the way you arrange to do choreography in dance. We did Congo Belly, the Grand Belly, Piquet, Jig, the nation dances that are normally see on the island in terms of like the Igbo, the Congo, the Coromantee, those things. And in addition to that, we also had the introduction to drumming, Afro-Caribbean drumming, singing, posturing, how you sit, how you drum, the tones, what the meaning, and so all those things, the different types of drums and how they're related to what we do here and the connection between us and all of our parents, and celebrating the rich culture that we are going to know, and we're no doubt celebrating all the festivals we've had, will have, and will continue to have for the rest of the year.
Understood. And in the past, persons have spoken about the fact that a number of the indigenous dances or some of those cultural folk dances have strayed from its initial movement and its initial patterns.
That's a reality.
Is it that, based on the inclusion of a lot of modern dancing and persons just putting their own spin into it, was this workshop intended to bring persons back to the base level of what these songs and these dances truly are at its core?
And that's why it's sustaining a legacy and charting a course of what we would have known, and we also try to do that generational transferring of the skills, knowledge, practices, the movements, the accentuation, the language, the posture in the body, to ensure that in all that we do, because dance and the world of the creative industry allows you to be just what it says, creative, and you merge innovation with creativeness, but at the same time you must be able to tell the distinct difference where it is should be apparent. And that's what we strive to do. We encourage, of course, but we also had an area that treated with modern style dancing, what we call street dancing, what the young people now do these days. So it's really all about harnessing creativity, but at the same time ensuring that your authentic movements are preserved, at least, and when they are done, that they are done, not just done, but done correctly, so that we ensure that what we were taught and what we know and what we practice and will eventually preserve will be something that is considered to be sacred and not profaned, to say the least.
Excellent. And so we look forward from this initiative to see a power-packed Tobago Heritage Festival this year.
By no doubt, yes.
Right. And so tell us a bit about what we can look forward to coming out of this workshop, coming out of the level of excitement and engagement that Tobagonians, have displayed for our culture, not just coming and watching the festival, but actually being a part and understanding some of the core principles behind the movement, behind the songs, behind the heritage that they see on stage. What can we expect this year?
But I think certainly we should see emergence of persons who might have at one time had the hat, so to speak. I think we would also benefit from seeing a new source of energy, youth dynamism. I think that we have certainly awakened the interest and the spirit among the young persons in the community, various communities. So we are seeing some succession in terms of people taking up the mantle and willing to learn and to practice, and that's important. I think about coming out of this, what is more important, what I was especially pleased about, was the number of young males, young boys in particular, who suddenly, I guess, were able to be drawn to what has been happening in this regard. And we were able to see, because we have witnessed the dying and the drought of young male on stage practicing in any of the way, whether it be dance, drama, particularly in dance, and in the drumming also we were seeing some gaps in the generation. I think that these workshops specifically have assisted in that, and Dominic Williams and the team at who always spearhead those things in the communities and the school. We know now that the training and the money spent by the division and the Tobago House of Assembly in putting training and monitoring in the different areas really is bearing fruits. And I just want to take the opportunity to thank the administrator and the secretary of the division and all those who are the policymakers who engineered what we're doing, and to see that it has been bearing fruit. We will see them on stage, trust me, we have been seeing them, and no doubt it will continue. We have more people now, younger persons practicing than in some of the years before, and this is in its 4th year, and it continues to grow. I think that's remarkable, to say the least.
Excellent. Well, Jesse, we want to thank you so much for being here with us this morning and just giving us some insights into all that has been happening with the Ready Set for charting the legacy for the Tobago House of Assembly as it pertains to ensuring that you allow Tobagonians to understand the rich indigenous cultural
yes,
practices?
The value of the culture. And you know, we are very tourism culture based, and we have a number of things. Because soon we'll have the advent of the heritage, and then we have, once that's controlled, we still have other things doing in the space, which includes our Blue Food Festivals, the South Tobago Carnival, and it goes right into what is anticipated to be a slightly better cruise ship estimated arrival. So we also use the opportunity to ensure that we are foremost and ready, equipped with the skills to see that we can make sure and turn this very essential part of our economy, which is very tourism based. And so that we, in order to do that, we need to do what we're doing, and we've been doing that. And I think it will help with the promoting the values of the orange economy.
Excellent. Well, again, we want to thank you so much for being here with us this morning, and we look forward to that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back after this. See you soon.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago.
My name is Carpage. I'm the head coach of St. Jago High School boys track and field team.
My name is Joseph Small. I am the head coach of the girls female program. Preparing an athlete is not just running on the track. You have the mental aspect, you have the nutrition aspect, and you have the support and the motivation. So there's a lot of factors that we have to look into, and we have to try to see how best we can deal with them as best as possible.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Coming up, hot plates, cold drinks, and chill vibes were the order of the month in Antigua and Barbuda. Top chefs, tasty menus, influencers, and foodies. The boxes were ticked, kitchens buzzing, and grills fired up. It's the one and only Antigua and Barbuda Culinary Month with Caribbean Passport TV on this station.
Stay tuned for what's coming next.
And I have never, ever tried anything from the dirt oven.
Let's go to the backyard dirt oven on a Thursday and talk about authentic. On entry, I felt at home. I felt like I was going to visit my loving grandmother on a weekend. The kind of weekend where she showers you with love, stories, and food. This place is a home away from home. And just like I would do at home, I popped the question, what you had to eat day? And boom, coconut drops. Boom, bread. Boom, garlic bread, boom, hops, boom, coconut tart, boom, jam tart, and boom, something they call nuts. And just like that, Mistress Baker was ready to pop them in the oven. And don't worry, she had some help. And while we was waiting, I said, let me hear from Mistress Baker herself.
Well, we've been operating for a couple of years now. We started, this was a COVID project. We operate strictly on Tuesdays only. You don't keep stock, we only sell on Tuesdays.
Such a sweet lady. Hey, Olia, it's ready. When last you see a nice golden brown bread, sir? Backyard bakery for the win. Olia, a GT. I finally get me the oven bread with a little extra goodies on the side. You might be asking, where they're located? They are located on Bukuru, right on Nightingale Avenue, right before Racetrack Wheels if you're coming from town. Just look for the green hedge. You can't miss it. Pause. Check out the menu they one time. Honestly, guys, this is an experience I will never forget. It's a home away from home, a place filled with love, life, and most importantly, good bread.
Okay. 335, 336, 337, 338, 339.
Counting on your fingers again. No wonder you lose your business.
Grandpa, thanks for helping me start over.
You not lucky in business, you know. As a child, you tried to sell hog plum. That failed. As a teenager, you and your boyfriend tried to break into the jewelry business. But hey, where that boy end up?
He live in Aruka in the Grove. The golden one.
Oh, child, if you want to get into business, you have to have your financial records intact. But hey, do you know your numbers?
Of course, 624. 333.
No, child, your numbers, your ratios, your equity ratios. You have a financial handicap.
What?
You need to see somebody about that. Anderson!
Who?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago, they offer tax and accounting services. They know about financial management.
Grandpa, I started this business with nothing.
And nothing is what you will end up with unless you call Anderson Services. Here.
Okay, this card is nice.
Yeah.
What's this?
Your rental fee. Have business will pay rent. Hot and groovy in the soca party.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Chanel Felix. This morning we are talking all about Wellness Sunday that's happening at the Poetry Cafe. We're talking about something that some of you guys probably haven't heard about before. Yeah, we're talking about chair yoga. This morning, to have that conversation with me, I have the privilege of chatting with Mrs. Karen Falk. I don't want to mess up your name. Tell us your name.
Karen Faulkner.
Karen Faulkner.
Yes.
All right. She's the CEO and principal instructor of Inner Being. And we have Mr. Waynster Robertson this morning, who's the owner of the Poetry Cafe. Good morning and welcome. So we're talking about Wellness Sunday that's happening this Sunday at 6:30 a.m. And we're talking about something that is quite different for a lot of persons. You know, we hear about yoga, but chair yoga, quite different. Good morning again, Karen. Tell us a bit about that.
So my name is Karen Faulkner. I'm the CEO and founder of Inner Being LLC, a yoga-based company in New York. And I founded this company back in 2018 to make the practice available, accessible, and affordable. But all bodies are different. And the goal is to bring this practice to the entire community here in Tobago. And when I met with Mr. Robertson, we discussed the opportunity to create a space right here on the Esplanade where the proximity of the sea is so prevalent, and we wanted to create a space to invite the community to come out and move their bodies, be present, and just simply practice self-love and self-care in a safe and welcoming environment.
Okay. And, you know, when I think about chair yoga, for some reason I think about persons who have had, you know, any type of trauma or injury to the body and may require a softer level of active engagement.
Right.
So let's say for persons who may have had a knee injury or just problems with their knees. But, you know, regular persons as well, it seems to also be a bit core focused. When I think about, you know, being in a chair, I think about a lot of the core area being targeted.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about it. Who does this particular type of yoga
So the
target?
population we target is the senior population, persons with individual developmental disabilities, the autistic community, people that need a little extra support. And so the chairs give them a sense of confidence, if you will, because sometimes getting on a yoga mat is not accessible.
Right.
So practicing in a chair makes it available, accessible, and again, we cater to all bodies.
Excellent. And tell us a bit about why, you know, the Poetry Cafe decided that, listen, this is in alignment with what we want to offer Tobago, that richness, that idea of wellness, and just that holistic development.
Yeah. Thanks, Chanel. Well, the Poetry Cafe is kind of founded on setting up an environment where persons could come have a nice social interaction, strengthen their mind, refresh themselves, have a different energy. We have things like a little book nook for people to read. You know, we're more than just a coffee shop. So once we start looking at that ethos, this kind of fit well into what it is we wanted to achieve. We've done a couple of other events. Wellness is a lot more than just the physical. There's a mental aspect to it as well. It allows you to sit back and, wellness encompasses just throwing that stress that you deal with daily off of you. And just 2 weeks ago, we had an event, a tufting event at our location. Again, that was well subscribed. A lot of persons came, they enjoyed that event, and at this point in time, we wanted to bring yoga into the space. Again, give someone some stress relief, and our hope is that once this pilot goes well, we will do something every Sunday to allow our community to come in and be part of this particular activity.
All right, and for persons who are saying, okay, how does a cafe fit in with yoga, particularly chair yoga that's targeted towards senior citizens, persons with any type of disability, or just, the general public who wants to explore something different? How does that combination come about with the Poetry Cafe?
Chanel, as I said, our space is more than just coffee and tea and wine and fellowship. Well, it's fellowship, it is wellness, it is stress relief. It's a place for communal engagement. It's a place, if you want to broaden your horizons, you could come and sit down and pick up a book at a small little book nook. If you just need esprit de corps, and just finding your group. It's where you come. So it's really, chair yoga and yoga kind of sits inside of that.
Okay. And Karen, tell us a bit about your experience with chair yoga previously. What have been some of the responses from persons who participated in it? Is it okay for persons who have had knee injuries? Tell us a bit about it.
So personally, I practice in a chair. We sit in cars, we sit at seats, we sit at desks all day, right? And so the thought is, how can we bring a presence of awareness in our bodies without having to necessarily go to a fitness space or go to a space in general for that? We proposed programs in senior homes. We have programs in shelters, temporary housing, and they don't have the equipment. They don't have yoga mats and the tools that we need to facilitate a floor yoga class. So we instead use chairs. We make it available. As far as the knee injuries and or hip or any sort of injury in the body, we ask participants to let us know what is going on with them, so we can be mindful about what poses we suggest. Honoring the person's body and their range of movement is very important, but also bringing the awareness of helping the individual become so present in their body that we become present enough to notice without judgment. We notice without comparison, and that's really what the practice is all about, to bring folks in, to help them feel comfortable, make them feel welcome, and then help them get to a place in their bodies and in their minds where they're present and feeling well.
All right, excellent. And tell us a bit about some of the partners that you have for this initiative. It's just the Poetry Cafe. Can we see this chair yoga happening in other places in Tobago? And how can persons, if they come out and they're really interested or really enjoy it and they're like, wow, I want to continue doing this. I like the level of core engagement and community that comes with participating in the chair yoga. How can they continue to be a part of this?
So over the past 6 months since I returned to Tobago, I've done some pop-up classes at over in Buku at Healing with Horses. I've also done some work at Magdalena with Rhea Sampson. And most recently, I did a volunteer work with the Children's Authority, one of the temporary housing places here in Tobago. And after speaking with Mr. Robertson, the goal here is to make this an ongoing event where we have an ongoing week maybe daily at some point, where we build the awareness so much that it's in demand, and we can make it available right here on the Esplanade, right here in Tobago, in any communal spaces that's available to us.
All right.
Yeah, the poetry is well, just off the port.
Right.
And it is so scenic and beautiful in that particular location. And we kind of wanted to take advantage of that. Just the backdrop of the sea, I think.
Right, and then you're
one of the
also
things.
very close to that I Love Tobago sign,
correct.
right?
It's a landmark.
Just next to it, I love. And I kind of want to hasten to say that in Sunday's activity, we are, after the yoga, we will have a light breakfast.
Yes.
We'll introduce you to some of the poetry's wellness shots, a wake-up wellness shot.
Okay.
And then we'll do something light and for all the participants. And again, as Kay has mentioned, we really hope that this pilot goes well, so that we could look at doing this at least in the first phase every Sunday,
Right.
Sunday morning, and then we take it from there to see.
Right, excellent. And we just want to remind the audience that this event is absolutely free. Let's
That's
talk a bit
correct.
about that.
That's correct.
And the collaborative partners is the poetry and Inner Being Yoga. So this Sunday, 6:30 a.m.
Excellent. So this is June the 28th at 6:30
June 28th
at the
at
poetry.
6:30 a.m. That's correct, and we're asking participants to register because unfortunately spots are limited.
Right.
And they could either WhatsApp 352-7437, where we prefer them to register via our web link, wellness.poetrycafe.com.
Excellent. And so tell us why it's important for persons to want to do something new, want to do something different, want to be a part of this particular initiative, Karen.
Well, why not? Right? I remember walking the space with Mr. Robertson, and the proximity of the sea and the space is just healing in its own way. And I think Tobagonians want an opportunity to come out and have a space where we can practice together, share stories together, and share movement together. So why not, is my answer.
Excellent. And so we look forward to quite an engaging event. Let's talk about how persons can actually sign up to be a part of this event.
Yeah, it's very simple. You just log into wellness.poetrycafe.com. There's a form that you fill in, and it's a very simple form. You just fill it in. We have so far we're catering for 20 persons on Sunday. We have a couple of spots left, but I still encourage persons to sign up, because then it gives us an idea as to how we progress after that.
The interest,
Building
the interest.
Well, I know that I have already signed up online, so I'm going to be a part of that, going to come out, have that core engagement, and be a part of what's happening on the Scarborough Esplanade. I'm looking forward to the breakfast as well. What can we expect on the menu outside of some of your wellness shots?
It's a light breakfast. I am excited about the wellness shot because I normally personally take wellness shots in the morning, and that normally involves some of the natural herbs that we're accustomed to, ginger, turmeric. Sometimes I throw in a little cayenne pepper, just to increase that metabolic drive. So I'll have 2 or 3 different types of wellness shots, along with a salad, a light salad, some finger foods,
Fresh parfait, yogurt parfait.
and a fresh yogurt parfait.
Right, and can you imagine just being a part of that experience right near the sea?
Yes.
Right out there, really early in the morning, being out there with that first set of sunrise.
Yes.
We look forward to that. And so we look forward to persons being a part of this event. It's definitely something that you don't want to miss, the opportunity to come out and just be a part of the community of other like-minded persons. You get one of those good morning shots from the Poetry Cafe, one of those wellness shots to start off your week the right way. And we always, enjoy just communing with other persons who are of like mind, right? And so again, we want to thank you guys so much for being here this morning. Before we leave or wrap up our discussion, is there anything that you want to say to our viewers looking on this morning?
I'd like to say come with an open mind, and I can almost guarantee you'll leave with a full heart.
Yeah.
Excellent. And what about you, Mr. Robinson?
I would say come experience, refresh, renew, and face the new week in a different frame.
Yeah. All right. So when it comes to the shots, do you usually sell those wellness shots at the Poetry Cafe?
Actually, it's a menued item, but currently we do complimentary shots. So, but yeah, at some point in time, the plan is to start selling it.
Okay, so I can pass by any time and just get a turmeric ginger shot.
You could pass by and get what I call our immunity booster.
Right.
And you could get.
Excellent. Well, again, we want to thank you guys so much for being here this morning. Thank you for being a part of everything that's happening in Tobago to promote wellness and that level of socialization and community building, particularly in the Scarborough area. We know a lot of events and activities are moving away from Scarborough, but you guys are doing the work at the Poetry Cafe to bring back that energy, that culture, that life to the Scarborough area.
Yeah, the Esplanade is a beautiful place, and we really think that people should take more advantage of it. So come out on Sunday and just see the beauty of the place.
Yeah. Excellent. And that is Sunday the 28th of June at 6:30 a.m. Remember, this is a free event. The event is completely free. You do not have to pay. All you have to do is go to wellness.poetrycafe.com and sign up right there to be a part of that chair yoga session that would be happening. All right. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for being a part of this morning's discussions. We want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I am Chanel Felix, and have a great day.